Say here on the show that it's been a strange relationship with the media, with Meghan Markle, and in particular her children, Archie and Lilibet, or Lily, whichever you want to call her. It seems odd, doesn't it? Because Meghan Markle herself was very vocal about exactly what she wanted and how she wanted her children to be presented to the media. Incredibly, she said, of course, that she had to leave Great Britain because of the media pack that would have ensued if she was taking her children to nursery, forgetting, of course, that that simply wouldn't be the case. But as ever with Meghan, fact over fiction becomes very confusing. But what's interesting here is her reasons behind these recent moves concerning her children, which we've now been very much exposed to. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil. Sean here. Nice to see you. I hope you're keeping well. Thank you also for your comments about the service in coffee shops. Yes, that one's still rattling on. I know, I can understand. You see, people think I'm difficult, but I just think you pay for what you get, don't you? And ultimately, if you're getting it, say, from a cafe outside, you don't expect much service. But when you're in somewhere like Marks and Spencer's and they're charging top dollar, you expect a little bit more. So many of you agreed with me. Some of you said I'm an old fogey. I don't mind that. No, honestly, it's individual. If you are happy to pay that, it's up to you. I just wouldn't go back. It's as simple as that. Back as ever, though, to your breaking roll story of the day. Now, this, as I say, is interesting because Meghan Markle made such a huge fuss, didn't she, with the Oprah Winfrey interview and then that trip to Africa about how she didn't want her children to be raised in the way, say that, Prince Louis, Prince George, Princess Charlotte are, put on parade, brought out at the will of the media. Even Prince Harry recently spoke about the fact that, he didn't like the way that when Archie was born, it wouldn't really work with the media. He had to do something to make sure they were appeased. It's not like that at all, but, for him, it made a good narrative. In a book that's filled with moleholes and Swiss cheese, you get the picture. But now what's fascinating, which we find out with Meghan, is she was more than happy to invade her own privacy with her two children on that Netflix documentary. Very revealing pictures, weren't they, and footage and all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, we found out that one of the godparents is none other than the man who loaned them his house at the very start of their Megxit, Tyler Perry. Seems a nice man. Not quite sure if he knows what he's got involved with, but the bottom line is, he's obviously a very generous and kind-hearted soul. That has to be said. So why did Meghan have a big change of heart regarding the exposing of her children? Well, I've told you before here on the show, the bottom line is when you sign a mega deal, it's as simply this: you have to give more and more of yourself. Originally, Meghan and Harry didn't want their children to be involved in the documentary. They said it should be about their love story, not about, their children. But the executives at Netflix, feeling the pinch and not necessarily seeing anything for their big bucks, literally hit back and said, well, absolutely not. This is a whole-rounded reality show, as it were, a docu-series. We need to know that part of the story. And as we saw, allegedly, Meghan and Harry had to give in and really expose their children to a worldwide media. So it's fascinating to know, isn't it, that obviously with Harry and Meghan, when they moaned about the particular individual media over here, the United Kingdom press, the UK press, simply it was because in many people's eyes, they couldn't monetize that particular revenue stream. But the minute, of course, Netflix demanded some content, having paid big bucks, well, then they had to conform. And as I've told you time and time again, with their shrinking celebrity credibility at every corner, Harry and Meghan are going to have to dig deeper and deeper each time in order to satisfy their very demanding paymasters. Now, while Meghan might not like this, she could be left with no choice. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.